Good morning, Rabbi Isai. There's a concept in Shas that if something's about to be done, let's say about to be thrown, so I can consider it thrown. We saw it. Also, if you're about to redeem it, you don't have to actually redeem it. It's as if it was redeemed. Let's say we have a situation where Reb Shimon says you have the blood in the cup, you could throw it. It's as if it's thrown. It's if it's just thrown, then you're allowed to eat the carbon, right? You have something that right now you can't eat unless you throw the blood. Throw the blood on the mizbech, you could eat. So we're going to view it as if it was thrown. It's not thrown, it's in the cup. And therefore what? I could get to eat it. I get to eat it. Now it becomes tummy. Because only if I could eat it can it become tummy. So I have to use the whole thing. It's as if I threw it. If I threw it, then it's edible. I could eat it. If the kohen throws the blood on the mizbech, the other kohen could eat the steaks. But he didn't throw it on the mizbech. It's as if he threw it on the mizbech. Oh, so if he threw it on the mizbech, then it becomes edible. It becomes edible, it's tummy, right? That's what we have to chap. If it's edible, it's tummy. That's the Yesei Sugya. So now, ask the Gemara, we're like 8 lines from the bottom. V'halan, Lina is when the carbon, the blood, whatever it is, remains overnight. V'halan, lifnei zrika, before zrika. That's one of the cases we had yesterday. The carbon stayed overnight before you were able to throw the blood on the mizbeach. But isn't this a problem? The mitzvah of mizrikei, v'bay zarek. It's a mitzvah to throw the blood, and if he wants, he could. And therefore, but we said that anything that's about to be thrown, it's as if it was thrown. But you already established that there's no tumah, meaning that it wasn't thrown. If it was thrown, then it would be food. If it's food, it becomes tameh. But you said it's not tameh. That means it's not food. That means it wasn't thrown. What do you do? You're not. You're right. If there was a moment, one moment that he could have thrown, then I use this rule. Anything that I could throw, I threw it. I don't have to physically throw it. I could have. Okay, kalaroi lebila bila, ein bila matkeves. Kalaroi lizroi kizarg dami. I don't use that rule here. You know why I don't use the rule here? Because he did it by shkia. He shechted the animal a second before shkia. You didn't have that moment. So basically, there's 2 cases. If he had a moment before, then it's as if he threw the blood. Punkt happens to be over here. He didn't have a moment. So what's the Gemara's classic question? Classic. So then tell me a difference between these 2 cases. Why are you jumping to a far-fetched case? 2 very similar cases. One case is that the kohen threw the blood at shkia, so there's not a second that he could have thrown it, and therefore it's not considered food. And if it's not considered food, it's not tameh. And case number 2 is, no, he shechted this animal 5 minutes before shkia. So you had a 5-minute window. He could have thrown the blood. So it's as if he threw the blood. So then it's edible. If it's edible, it's mekabel tumah. Why don't you give me these 2 cases? But if he had a moment to throw the blood, it's as if he threw the blood, so then it becomes edible, and it becomes edible, it becomes tameh. So let's just show you the chart for a second. Check out. There's 2 cases that we said yesterday in the Braisa. One is Lina before Zrika, one is Lina after Zrika. Yeah? You have Lina. Those are the 2 cases. Ask the Gemara, why don't you just give me 2 cases that are much more similar? One is that he did Zrika. They were all Lina before Zrika, both cases before Zrika. But one, he had a moment. You give me a tchak now. You're saying, oh, he did it the last moment. He didn't have a second to throw it. Okay, so give me a case where he had 2 seconds to throw it. And the halacha will be the opposite. Just say within that case. One case is where he didn't have a moment to throw it, so it's not tameh. But if he had a moment to throw it, even 10 seconds, then the food would become tameh because it's as if you did throw it. Says the Gemara, you're 100% right. In fact, that's what it says. The 2 cases on top are identical to the 2 cases on the bottom. Lon lifnei zrika, lon la'achar zrika is shahos and not shahos. Lon koydem she'ira l'zrika Einoi metama tumas oichlin. If the lina was before it was available to do zrika, it's not metama tumas oichlin. Lachashiro zrika metama tumas oichlin. Okay, another case. Vapigel. What about we had yesterday also? If a person, a kohen, had a machshava in his head, he thought to himself that what I am, this zrikas hadam, let's say. Let's talk about pigel for a second. Pigel, you could do in all 4 avodas. There's 4 actions that are taken when you bring a carbon. You makriv a carbon. First, you shech the carbon. Then you receive the blood, kabbalah. Then you take the blood to the mizbeach. And then you throw it on the mizbeach, zrika. Zrika is the top. That's the most important one. That's the one that gives the kapara. Okay. But in each and every one of those 4 avodas, you could have a thought, like in this chart, that I am going to eat this animal in 5 days from now. I don't want to mix up the oilam, but you could also have a thought that I'm going to be maktir on the mizbeach, because to put it on the mizbeach is a type of eating. It's the mizbeach. Anything that has to do with eating and food, and zrika is also fine. But that's not the point. The point is, let's just take one thing. The left top left side. He thinks in his mind that he's going to eat this animal, the steaks that come with that, I'm going to eat it in 5 days from now. That's pigel. Now, once you do pigel, it becomes possible right away. Now the Gemara says, "Well, pigel be'mi kachim kachim be'mi kachim kalim." The mitzvah in mizrukei. I have a mitzvah to do zrikas adam before I do pigel. V'boy zarik, and he has the ability to have kuv beis or medalev on top. V'boy zarik biktani. This is a question the Gemara is going to ask, and everybody here should know the answer on the spot. The Gemara is just going through the steps. V'boy zarik, and he could throw the blood. Biktani then emitam to mesoichlin. My lav the pigel b'zrika. Oh, so if we go back to the chart, he had from the time he does shchita to the time he does zrika is 5 minutes. So during those 5 minutes, he could have done zrika. He could have. How come it's not metama? I don't understand. If anything I'm about to do and I could have done, it's as if I did it. So I could have thrown the blood, and I had 5 minutes to throw the blood before I did the pigel. I had 5 minutes from the time I did shchita to the time I did zrika. I had 5 minutes, and I could have had a machshava. I could have thrown the blood, and if I could have thrown the blood, it's as if I threw the blood. If I threw the blood, what's the fear ice? Then it's food. It's food, it becomes tameh. So what's the obvious answer? His machshava of pigel was not all the way at the end of the 5 minutes. It was in the beginning of the 5 minutes. As he shechted the animal, he had a machshava that he's going to eat this animal in 5 days from now. So there's never a moment that he could have thrown the blood. As he shechted. When's the moment that he could have thrown the blood? Before he shechted? That doesn't count. The animal's alive. So as he shechted, it's too late. So there's never a moment, not even 1 millisecond, that he could have thrown the blood. My love, the pigel was zrika? No, the pigel was shchita. So the Gemara says, oh, shkoyach, I knew that. But I'm just trying to lead you into my question. I have a pigel was zrika, so I'll go with you. But what happens if he did the pigel by zrika at the 5 minutes into the whole process? 5 minutes after he did shchita, he did a pigel when he did the zrika. So in other words, he had 5 minutes where he could have thrown the blood, and he didn't. But if you say that in that case, you're asking to me that what? That what? It could be mikabel tumah. Very good. In the case where the pigel was at the end, where there's a 5 minutes slot for him to. He was able to do zrika and he didn't. So he's able, it's as if he did. And if he did, it is a kosher zrika. Kosher zrika, then the food becomes edible. Food becomes edible, so it's the same exact question that we had before, basically. These are the 2 cases that we have. Yesterday, we learned 2 cases. A person did pigel when he was doing an animal. A person did pigel when he was doing a mincha. So what's the Gemara's question now? I have 2 cases that are much closer to each other. One, he did pigel by the shchita. That's what we just said now. Oh, no, we're talking about a case where he didn't have a moment to throw the blood. How is it possible? When he did it by shchita. But if he did it by zrika, if he had the pigel thought by zrika, then he did have a moment. He had 5 minutes. So I have 2 cases that's so much similar. Why are you jumping to a mincha? One case is kachim, where it's not food. And one case is mincha, where it is food. I have 2 cases in shechting an animal. One is considered food, one is not considered. One is mekabel tumah, one is not mekabel tumah. How? One, I didn't have a moment to be able to throw the blood. How's that? Because my pigul was during the shechita all the way in the beginning, and one was all the way at the end, where I had 5 moments. Beni ataki, mitzuyan. He asked the Gemara, same question we had before. Why are you jumping to another case? It's far-fetched. One case, a guy shechted an animal, number 1 on top right, shechted an animal. Case number 2, top left, is mincha. They're different things. One is Mesechtes Zvachim, one is Mesechtes Menachos. I'm thinking about it. It's different areas. In Mesechtes Zvachim, I have 1 and 2. They're both in animals. One is a shechita, one is a zrika. If the bad thought happened all the way in the beginning where there's not even a moment to do zrika, then it's not food. And it's not tummy. But if he had 5 minutes in between the shechita and the zrika, and that's when he was mefagel. But there was a 5-minute window where he could have done the zrika b'kashrus, so it's considered food. Considered food is mekabel tumah. Says Gemara, you're right, but I have a much bigger chiddush here. I much rather tell you a distinction between something that are almost identical. There's 2 shchitas. In the shchita, Rabbi say in shchita, in step number 1, in the shchita, one shchita is considered food and one shchita is not considered food. How's that possible? Because guess what? Mincha is a shchita. The kmitza part of the mincha is shchita. How? Let's check this out. Look over here. The 4 avodas that you have on an animal that are on top is shchita, kabbalah, ilacha, zrika. The 4 avodas they have by a mincha is kmitza, putting it in a kli, the same thing, hilacha, and aktara. They line up with each other. The kmitza going like this to flour is like shechting an animal. So that's what I wanted to show you. What's the word I'm looking for? Not a distinction. There's a better the contrast. The contrast between 2 types of shchitas. Shchita on an animal, I cannot consider it food, but shchita, so to speak, on flour, I could consider it food as I do it. It's a big chiddush. That it's sort of like a shchita, yet it's still considered food. How? I want to tell you that chiddush. Even though the pickle happened during the kmitza, the kaim is b'mincha k'shchita dam. The kmitza by a mincha is like a shchita by an animal. Afilu hachi, and nevertheless, by a mincha, I could make it tamei. How? Because flour, before it came to the Beis Hamikdash, was flour and was edible. So in Mela, that's what we had yesterday. Anything that had a shasa kosher had a moment of fitness before it came to the Beis Hamikdash. You were able to. An animal didn't have a moment of fitness. You were never able to eat it. The only time you were able to eat it is when you shecht it. Then it's already too late. Then it's already, it's not considered food. Fine. So that's that. That's Hakafa Aleph, or we're holding already Hakafa Gimel. Says the Gemara, Omer Ravashi. I'm reading the Shmai Kamid Rav Nachman. I said this over to Rav Nachman, and he told me, Afidu temelon lon mamish. You could even say in Reb Shimon, it doesn't matter. Lina is literally lina. In other words, lina is before or after zrika. It doesn't matter when, before or after. We already established that the pigul only happened in step number 1 by the shchita. Not true. The pigul could have happened on step number 4 by the zrika. He says, I want to tell you something. You started this year. Something that you're about to redeem, it's like it's redeemed. Something that you're about to burn, it's like you burn. Something that you're about to throw, it's like you throw. Not true. There's different distinctions. It's not a one rule for everything. It's not a blanket concept. The boy parik amrinan. Think about it. When a guy has a handful of flour for a mincha, what is he? He's about to. Then his wife calls him up. Reuven, I need to make pancakes. And he's holding this thing that's kaddish in his hand. So what does he do? He says, all the kedusha that's in my hand should transfer to my $5 bill in my pocket. Did he do an action? No. He said something with his mouth. Memela, listen to this. It's very simple. Since you don't have to take action, all you have to do is say, the kedusha from here should go to there. So then it happens by itself. Even if you didn't do it, I could hear the logic that even if you didn't do it, it's as if you did it. Why? Because it's so simple. But anything, they have to take a physical action. I have to get up and go. And then I have to throw it at the Mizbeach. You didn't do that. So why is it as if you did it?
It's like Mechus or Maisa and It's different.
Yeah, it's a Mechusar Maisa. That's literally the words. Here, I'll show you Rashi. It's hard to see. Rashi's all here. He says the boy parak amad the Mechusar B'diya laf kemaisa. He uses those words Mechusar Maisa, and they stick in Mechusar Maisa. Look how many oisios, tazvav, tazayin, kitzer. But that's what he's saying here. One is missing action. One is not missing action, and it actually makes sense logically. Something that's missing action, you can't say, oh, it's as if it happened. No, it didn't happen. Nafkamina of like, I want to build a building. I want to build. So it's as if it's built. No, it's not as if it's built. It takes 3 years to build a building. But I want to destroy the building. I just want to give it a little zetz in the corner like they do in Gaza, and the whole thing goes down. Maybe that is not a mechusar. It's a big. I'm just throwing it out. Like some things you do say this concept, some things you don't. If it's easy, then you say it. If it's harder, then you don't. The bay parik. I mean, so you want to redeem it, and it's just saying a word that works. You got to say, if he wanted to, he could have thrown the blood. L'maisi, he didn't. It's mechusar maisa. Iboy have a zarg lemer. Meisvei. All right. Here's another one. In a paraduma, we said that you have a paraduma, you killed the paraduma, you shechted a paraduma, and it's very normal that if somebody comes with a larger, better paraduma, you redeem it. So in that case, you say, even though you didn't do it, why? Because it's normal to do. It's oimid lepidyon. But by a mincha, we don't say it. So the Gemara made a distinction, a mincha and a paraduma. So when the way it works in the Beis Hamikdash, if there's food that's owned by the Beis Hamikdash, and you eat it, you use it, what do you just do? Mi'ila. And what do you have to do? You have to pay a 25% penalty. You have to bring a carbon, the whole thing. Let's say it's food that went from being the Beis Hamikdash, it went to being the Kain's. Any Kain could eat it. And then you went ahead and you grabbed the steak and you ate it. Is that Mi'ila? No, it's not Mi'ila. Why? Oh, because there's no more Kedusha on it. The Kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash went away. Now a human being is allowed to eat it.
That's just Gezel.
Gezel, correct. Not from anybody in particular, from the whole Shevet, yeah. So, but what about if it was available to a kohen to eat for a moment? So also, since it was available to the kohen for a moment, so the kedusha flew away, and Memela shouldn't be meila. There's a moment that the kohen could have eaten it. Ein mo'elam boy. There's no isser of meila. To me, it was always confusing as a bacher. Ein mo'elim and mo'elim. Mo'elim means like almost you should do meila, but mo'elim ba means there's an isser meila on it. The kohen was never able to eat it, so it remains the Beis Hamikdash's and remains the Rebbeinu Shalom's. So mo'elim ba, there's an isser meila. What does it mean? It was available to the kohen? Shalana. In other words, it was mutter to the kohen, but now it became also because it was overnight. It was mutter to the kohen v'shenit, it became tamei. It was mutter to the kohen v'shiyatza. It went outside of the Beis Hamikdash, so nobody could eat. What does it mean that it was never available to the kohen? In other words, he had a machshav of pigul. It's in his head. As he did shchita, he thought to himself he's going to eat it outside of the allotted time. He's going to eat it in a week from now. He said, I'm going to eat it in Bet Shemesh, even though he's not allowed to. The Kabbalah Saddam was done by a kind that's puzzle, a balmum. The Zarga is done on a balmum through the blood, or through blood. But what does it say? These three things happen. Now, my love, lana mamish. So when the Gemara says over here, lana mamish, the Gemara means that even the blood, there was a lean on the blood. In other words, there's no zrika yet. So what's the question? There's no zrika, but you could have done zrika. It happened before the night. It went through the night. The blood went through the night. The meat went through the night. And that's bad. It's called lina. It's overnight. But at the end of the day, he could have thrown the blood. And if he could have thrown the blood, the kohen could have eaten it. And the kohen could have eaten it, so it's not kaddish anymore. It's not the Beis Hamikdash's. If the kohen could have eaten it for 1 minute, then it's not. Why is there milah? Since I could have thrown the blood, I could have kol haroy lizroi kazarg dami. It's as if I threw it. So it's as if I threw it, then the kohen could eat it. If the kohen could eat it, there's no lina. It's the same concept as we said before. Sorry, not lina. Mi'ila. V'acha, just reading inside. V'acha, the boy have a zaraku. He could have thrown the blood. V'ktani de moyalim. Why? But ktani ein moyalim. It says mefurish that it is kizarik dami. You have a kohen who, if he's able to eat this food, then you don't. If you eat his steak instead, you're not over a mila. If he could eat it, what happened by us? All the blood was not thrown on the mizbeach. It went overnight, and that's considered as if the kohen could eat it. Why? But there's no zrika, so you must say that it could have been thrown. There was blood that had a shas kosher, it had a shas heter. Right before shkia, there was a pot of blood. There was no zrika on it yet. So it's as if it went to the kohanim for 1 minute. There's no milah. So what do I see? What do I see? I see that I do say it in something that requires a maisa. Before I said, oh, if I throw it, no, that's too much. I have to throw it. So, and since I didn't throw it, it's as if I can't say because I have to take action. Over here you say mufurish, even if I have to take action, I do say because in fact, if you Yisrael eat this meat, you're not chayiv amila because it's as if he threw it already. Says Gemara Loi, no, you did throw the story is different. The story is not that he didn't throw the blood. He did throw the blood. There was a complete zrika. So in other words, the blood, there's no lina on the blood. The only psul that we have over here is lina. So Mela, yes, it was roy for the kohen. It was roy for the kohen. There was zrika. It was roy for the kohen, and that's why there's no mila. There was zrika, so it's roy for the kohen. There's a real zrika, not a fake, not a pretend zrika, halachic zrika. There's a physical zrika, and then therefore, at that point, it became the kohen's. And it became the kohen, it's no longer mila, because it's the kohen's. It's just, the problem is that it went through the night. What if he didn't do Zrika Saddam? He didn't do Zrika Saddam. According to what you just told me, it's because he did Zrika Saddam, that's why it went out of the Beis HaMikdash's possession, went to the kohen's possession, and therefore if Yisrael comes and chaps it, he didn't take from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he took from a kohen. But what if he didn't do Zrika? Hachanam de Moelim. So would be Me'ilah. Hi, kol shehoya lo yishasa. Oh, so now the Gemara just asks a question on the lashon. So let's just do this together outside. It's very simple. What happens if the blood was thrown? The blood was thrown. They threw the blood. So is it the kohen's right now? They threw the blood. The moment they threw the blood, what happens? So when is it okay? When is it okay? Yesterday or right now? When I do zrika right now, when does it become okay? Right now. So why are you telling me that in the past, a lashon of the past, shahaisa, it should say sheyesh loy. Right now, there's a shas hakoisher because right now I did zrika. Right now it's the kohen's. So that bothers the Gemara. That what? Let's just read inside. I call the lashon kol shahaya loy shas heter. Look at him. The lashon that it used to have a heter. That's not good. Why? Just say kol sheyesh lo shas heter l'kayana. It should say right now it has a heter. So it's muchach to what? That the Mishnah is talking about on a case where there was no zrika. Because if there was a zrika, the Mishnah would say right now there's a shas heter. The reason why it says that there was no zrika because it had back then. Elo Omer Avashi. Mi'ila Tumakaramis. So he says, okay, what do you bring me a raya from this kohen business? You can't bring me a raya from a kohen. That what? By tower sugya. Why? Mi'ila mishum gdusha v'lav gdushi. What by mi'ila it's not about is it food or not food. That's what we're talking about in our sugya. Did it become food, not food? Is it considered food? By mi'ila it's a different thing. By mi'ila is does it have gdusha or not gdusha? What establishes the isser by Mila? Does it have does this piece of steak have gdusha on it or not? If it has gdusha, then you did Mila and you have to pay 25% and bring a carbon. If it doesn't have gdusha, okay. So lebasar the pocket like gdusha. So what happened over here? this could have blood. Okay, so you could do Zrikas Adam. So the Kedusha flies away, and the Kedusha can never come back. Once it flew away, and let's say they didn't do Zrikas Adam, you can't say, oh, let's bring it back. The Kedusha is gone. Even if there's no Zrikas Adam, and it never became Mutter to the Kayan, there's no Mila forever. Because once the Kedusha leaves, it leaves. But Tumah, Mishum Uchla, V'la Mishum Uchlahi. But when it comes to Tumah, is this thing susceptible to Tumah or not? It's whether or not this thing is edible. And this Roy Lizroik and not Roy Lizroik is not enough for it. Because you need Roy Lachila right now. Kol Heicha, there's a bunch of, you have to be goris here. The Bach takes out words. I'll just read it, I think, the way the Bach says it. Kol Heicha di Zarek le, Mashvele Uchla. If he literally does Rika, then you made it physically food. Then it's physical food. So physical food becomes tummy. Heicha the Eli Zarik. Take out all these words. Bai, matzi. The bottom line is, if you didn't do Zrika, so if you did Zrika, it's food. If you didn't do Zrika, it's not food. It's not food. It's not tummy. Okay, so now it gets easier from here. It's a new, basically almost like a new sugya. Attached to the previous sugya, it's like new. Amevi asham talui v'noida shleichata. What's the story? A person is not sure what he ate. He ate something, and his wife said, "What did you do?" She said, "I ate a piece of fat, the gala." She says, "Are you sure? I had a piece of chaylev over there that I was going to give to the guy. You crazy?" He says, "But I don't know if I ate the right or the left. I don't know." The pasuk doesn't know. It could have been chaylev, it could have been nothing. It could have been mamish, something mutter, something yishmak, gala. So what do? If he knew for sure that he ate chaylev, his wife said, "You ate chaylev," what does he do? Brings a chatas. But if he can't bring a chatas, what does he bring? Dani, a asham talui, a hanging asham. What does it mean, hanging? If I find out tomorrow that I didn't eat it, I figure it out. I take a step back, I look at the video, then I don't have to bring it. So basically, there's three options here, Rabbi Isai. There's three options. Either if you find out that you did not eat, you get the beautiful news, you didn't eat it. In fact, the babysitter, she comes, she's Goya, the cleaning lady, she says, "I took the chaylev, I know, I took it, I ate it, and you ate the good stuff." So either the Asham Talui becomes a regular animal. Mamish goes right back to where it came from. Zero Kedusha, nothing. Why? Because you made a mistake. Or, I'm telling you this because you'll see in the video, there's three belts, like in the airport, 3 belts. Belt number 1 says chulin on top, mamish mutter. Belt number 2 is Kevis land. Yirachi Stoiv. Belt number 3, let's see in the video. It's mamish moerdik. La vie en rose.
Magnifique. It is empty! Oh, absolutely! Yes!
You get some mum, Yirachi starve until you get some mum, and then you redeem it, Givaldik. So what happened? They thought they ate shalt with chaylev. It turns out they got a tremendous simcha not. So now what do you do with the Asham Talui? So Shita number 1 says, he found out that it's not, he wasn't over the Aveira, Yetzi v'yira beider. It's mamish chulin, don't worry about it, put it right back in the pen. Divrei Meir, it's not a problem. Chacham say, yire, achi stoev, you put it on a line going down to the airport, you make sure it breaks its leg, you take the money that you sell it, Take the money and you buy what? Case Mizbeach, the dessert for the Mizbeach. Why, says Rashi? Because you can't just put it back in the pen. A person, he's worried that he did an Aveira. Gomor Magdishle, says Rashi. I don't have that. Okay, fine. He was already masking to do it. Rebbe Lezer Omer Yikra, make it a carbon that's one of the three belts over there. Shemeni Ba Ached Zeh Hareu Ba Ached Acher. If it's not for this, it's like a father-in-law goes over to his son-in-law, gives him a smack in the face. Son, what did I do? He says, I'll tell you the truth, I don't know, but I'm sure you deserve it for something else. So, you know what? You didn't do this Avera. Trust me, there's another Avera that it's good for. So Mamela, what? Just shecht it as a regular carbon. When if he already shechted this Hashem Taloi, Hadam Yishafech, the blood must be spilled. The oil that was here for Zvachim, what does it mean it was spilled? Where do you spill it? Where do you spill it? Rabbi Sai. In the Amo. Right next to his bath, you spill it in there. V'habasi Yisaref, and you burn the meat. Why do you burn the meat? Because it's like Chum Bazar. Don't bother eating it. What about Nizrak Adam? The blood was already on the Mizbeach, and you found out that you didn't eat Chaylev. Habasi Yachal, so eat the meat. Rabbi Yossi Omer, Afilu Adam B'kois. If there was Kabbalah Adam, the Kohen received the blood in a cup, Yizarek, keep on going. You found out now that he didn't eat Chaylev, keep on going. Spray the blood on the Mizbeach. V'habasi Yachal Yikiriyot. V'Amar Rava, Rabbi Yossi B'Shidas, Rabbi Shimon Amar, this has to do with the Yisugi, that what? That what? You have blood in a cup. You didn't throw it, but it's as if you threw it. You threw it, then it becomes like it's edible, and Mamish ties into our sugya that Kalaim and Lizrik Yizarek Dami, that you do say the concept that it's as if you threw it, even though you have to take action. Says the Gemara, no, not a raya. Midu Taima, you think the reason is Kalaim and Lizrik Yizarek Dami? No. I have another reason. What's the reason? What happened there? The blood went into the kli. Oh, that kli, not because I'm able to throw the blood, it's as if I threw the blood. No, the kli gives it special powers. It's as if it was already it allows you to be makriv the kli. Then this is the question I asked you guys before. If you say the concept that anything that's thrown is as if it's thrown, so therefore, let's continue the logic. Anything that's about to be burnt is burnt. So noisar apara, I have the noisar, I have leftover meat that I'm mechuyev to burn, or a para duma that I burn. I need the ashes. How come the halacha is that if a person, the Tameh touches the paraduma, becomes Tameh. Why? Let's just consider that halachically, just a bunch of ashes. That what? Special love that for Kedusha, we said it by wood, we said it by Lavaina, so over here also, a special thing for paraduma. You're right, 100%. It's burnt. But nevertheless, we'll make it Tameh. So the way it works is, we know, you have top level of Tumah, Avi Avoisa Tumah. Then under that, what do you have? Rabbi Isai, what do you have under Avi Avoisa Tumah? Ava Tumah, what do you have under that? Rishon under that? Sheini, Shlish, Revi, Chamishi, Paraduma, whatever. Okay. But there's also a concept called puzzle. It's not something touches this apple, it becomes puzzle. It doesn't have the power to keep on giving tumah to something else. It's not a rishon that makes something else a shayni, it's just puzzle. So, I can understand that you want to take this paraduma and say, even though it's a bunch of ashes, because of the love that we have for Kedusha, for Kodesh, I'm going to make it puzzle. You can't use it anymore. But to say that it has enough power to give something else tumah, mapitam. And if so, Tivshay the boy Rish Lakish, and if you want to say yes, it does have the power. This is boy Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish wants to ask the question. Menachos, you have flour. What do you do with the flour? You pour in a bunch of oil and you mix it. What's going to happen? I did it once in Shir. The last time we learned Menachos, you should have done it. You take a bunch of flour, that much flour, you pour in 2 cups of oil. You mix it. What's going to happen? You're going to have globs of flour like this big that not a single molecule of oil touched it. It's impossible that the oil should go everywhere. In order for something to become tamei, you need a liquid to touch it. So here's a glob of flour that liquid never touched. It should be immune to tumah. And he's asking, does it become tamei or not? And the answer should be, based on our Gemara, that it does become tamei. Why? Because of chivas hakodesh. Because I love kedusha so much, everything in the mincha, even in the globs, in the tzarit, the Gemara calls it. The Bayrish Lakish, tzarit shemanacha is a glob of flour. Does it have? But yes, chivas hakodesh should make it. You have the answer right here, because of chivas hakodesh it should become a rishon sheni. And not, but Elamai, that wasn't his question. His question was, does it become? You're telling me it become more than possible. Rishon Sheni. Says Gemara, no. He wanted to know, is it a real tamei? We're only talking about chivas hakodesh on the rabbanon level. That he's masking that it becomes tamei. You want to know even more than that, and that's why I didn't have an answer. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.